So if you're serious about launching a beauty brand in 2025, here's the only guide you need. You know, the beauty space is brutally competitive, and most people fail in this space because they launch brands that look good on Instagram, but then they suck in real life. And so for those that don't know me, my name's Sasha Karabut, and I've launched multiple product brands. One of them is Bissou, the one you can see here, a makeup brand that has been running profitably for over 10 years, and it is in one of the most saturated markets on earth. And the reason it works, we focused on one product that delivered instant results, looked insane on camera, and gave us 90% profit margins. And so in this video, I'm going to give you the exact playbook on how to find a high impact product, build a brand around it, launch it on Shopify, and then grow without wasting tons of cash. Before that, let me tell you what kills 90% of new beauty brands. They pick the wrong product. And it's not because it's a bad quality or the packaging isn't beautiful. It's because it doesn't do anything fast enough to make people care. So in the beauty industry specifically, your product has to work instantly. If someone has to wait 4 weeks, 6 weeks to see a result, they're not going to come back to buy again. And they're certainly not going to pull their phone out and record content about it. Because the longer it takes to get a result, the weaker the content becomes. And this is exactly why things like red light masks or collagen creams struggle to go viral. Even if they work over time, they don't feel like they're working when you use them. Now, if you compare that to a product that delivers what I call wait, what moment? It's the moment that surprises the customer right away after they use it. The moment of disbelief, the spark. That is the moment where they pull out their phone and they want to share. Let me give you an example. From our business, Bissou. This has one hero product. It's a microfiber makeup removal cloth. It doesn't sound revolutionary, but when someone gets it in the mail, they wet it, they try it for the first time, and within seconds, it completely strips off the makeup from the face with just water. No cleansers, no chemicals, and every single time the reaction is, wait, what? And so that exact moment is the core of everything. It powers reviews. It drives repeat customers. It makes people tag their friends on the advertising. And it's the reason we've been able to grow this brand for 10 years profitably without relying on fake hype or forced influencer campaigns. And the best part is we never had to script that reaction. People filmed themselves using it and they shared it because they genuinely believed it worked. That's the difference between manufactured UGC and real UGC. Our Bissou product is also incredibly high margin with about 90% gross profit. And what that does is it gives us room to breathe. It gives us space to reinvest into content, reinvest into paid ads, and reinvest into inventory without being squeezed on every dollar. Because if you're trying to scale on a product that costs $9 to make and you're selling for 14, look, you're dead before you even start. So when you combine a product that has instant impact, you're able to scale much faster, advertise cheaper, and let your customers do the marketing for you. When you get that right, the rest of the brand becomes 10 times easier. So now that you understand what makes a product work, the next step is knowing who you're building it for. This is what we call choosing your niche, right? And so in a crowded market like makeup, the brands that win, they aren't the biggest. They're usually the most specific, and they're usually the ones serving people who have been ignored. Think minimalist skincare, but made for melanin-rich skin, or bold, expressive makeup designed specifically for mature women, or glam lines that are 100% acne safe for people who love the look but hate the breakouts. These are the focused solutions to real pain points, and that kind of focus helps you make it. But how do you know if your idea is legit or it's just wishful thinking? You need to validate, right? We want to jump into Google Trends first, type in keywords related to your idea, look for patterns over time. Rising interest, probably a good sign. Next, go deep on TikTok and figure out what kind of content is getting traction. Search for what's blowing up in beauty TikTok right now that isn't being fully served. Then use Shopify's free market reports. You'd be surprised at how many small category insights are hiding in plain sight. And finally, look, just talk to people. Ask potential customers what they're missing. Ask what they've tried that didn't work. 10 real conversations will tell you way more than 1,000 guesses. So what you're looking for is what I call signs of life. If people are already searching, they're sharing, they're posting about the problem, lean in. You've got something. If not, don't get emotional. Just move on and pull back. It's not about proving your idea is smart. It's about finding the idea that actually works for you. Next, it's time to figure out how you actually make the product. And this is where a lot of people get stuck because there are so many options and each one sounds right depending on who you listen to. So I'll just break it down really simply. There really are 4 main ways to produce your makeup or your beauty product. First is what we call DIY manufacturing. You make it up at home in a small tub or a small lab setup. You have full control, but it's very time consuming, very messy, and really hard to scale. Great for people who are hobbyists, but it's not great for business. Second is private labeling. You partner with a manufacturer who already has formulas and you brand it as your own. It's fast to market, has medium setup cost, and this is probably the sweet spot for most beginners. The third one is a full custom formulation. You work with a chemist, create something from scratch, and own the IP. This gives you the highest level of control, but it's expensive, it's slow, and it's only worth doing once you've seriously validated demand. Finally, fourth is dropshipping or reselling. This is one of the easiest to start, has the lowest cost, and is the fastest route to launch, but it gives you the lowest control and the lowest long-term value. In beauty, especially, trust matters, and you don't want your name on random white label products or junk from AliExpress. So what do I recommend? Look, if you're just starting out, go with a private label type option. Find a single, high impact product, branded as your own, that gets you into the market fast. It lets you test demand without crazy overheads, and it gives you decent margins from day one. Once you prove it sells, you can invest into custom formulations, scale your product lines, and then optimize everything else. But you have to earn that first. So now that you've got the product, the next step is the branding. And so this is not about designing a pretty logo or unique packaging. It's about building a brand that instantly connects with somebody specific. So branding only works when it feels personal. That's why most new makeup lines fall flat, because they try to appeal to everyone and then end up meaning nothing to anyone. Your customer is already living inside their own story, and your brand needs to fit into that story like it belongs. When you understand the identity your customer wants to feel, that's when you build a brand that sticks. And that identity needs to be obvious from the moment someone scrolls past you, because in 2025, your product isn't just sitting on a shelf. It's being judged in milliseconds on TikTok or Instagram Reels. Also, your packaging isn't just functional, it's the first frame of your ad, the thumbnail of your virality, the hook that makes someone pause. If your visual identity doesn't pop at a glance, you're invisible. And this is where most people confuse branding with decoration. It's not about making things look pretty, it's about clarity. When someone sees your product, they should instantly feel what it stands for, your colors, and your tone of voice and your story. Once your brand speaks clearly, your store has to match that energy. A lot of people overthink things here, but it's actually really simple. Your website should feel fast, clean, and built for mobile first, because that's how people shop now. They're on their phones, distracted. You've barely got 5 seconds to earn their trust. Use a modern, clutter-free layout. Prioritize speed, clarity, and ease of navigation. And your homepage should feel like an extension of your product with the same tone, the same visuals, and the same message. Your product page is where you sell the outcome. So show real lifestyle images. Keep the copy limited and tight. Make it feel like you're walking your friends through how to use it and what they're going to get out of it. Then your About Us page should feel human, not corporate. Talk about why you built this, what you stand for, and why the product matters. When people trust the face behind the brand, they're far more likely to buy. And finally, don't skip the fundamentals. Clear shipping and return policies, simple FAQs, visible reviews make a massive difference. They tell customers that this is real and you can trust us. But even with the best product and the best branding, nothing happens if no one sees it. And that's where the launch strategy comes in. Now, this last step is where most brands either pop or flop. Having the best product and brand is great, but if nobody's waiting for the launch, it won't work. Great products don't go viral by accident. You've got to build the buzz before the doors open. So start with a simple landing page with a clear hook and an email opt-in. Create a reason to sign up. which can be a waitlist, a bonus, early access, some form of giveaway, something that makes people feel like they're getting a reward for raising their hand early. Add a countdown timer and make it feel like an event. And don't just tell people what's coming. Show them. Share behind the scenes content, packaging samples, supplier updates, and all the screw ups. When you document the messy build process, your audience feels like they're part of the story. That emotional connection is extremely powerful, and it drives early trust and massive buy-in. Then comes the part that amplifies it all. Real people using your product on camera. But skip the polished influencer ads, all right? You want raw, honest reactions. Reach out to 10, maybe 20 small creators who already speak to your ideal customers and send them your product with no pressure. Just ask them to try it and share their real thoughts. If the product delivers, their reactions will say it all. That's the kind of content that people trust, and that is what sells. And when you're ready to launch, don't go big, all right? Start small on purpose. Ship 50, maybe 100 units, and pay close attention. Look for reviews, look for confusion, and get any form of feedback to see if people are coming back and buying again. A soft launch lets you learn and adjust without wasting money or ordering too much stock. Once you see proof, you can start scaling, but do it carefully. Focus on 3 critical numbers: how much it costs to get a customer, how much they spend, and whether they buy again. If these numbers look good, then lean in. Put more behind what's working, use the best content, and think about new products only once the first is locked in. Because scaling isn't about spending more, it's about tightening what's already working. And that's how you build something that lasts. These are the same strategies that we've used to build brands that have lasted over a decade and help other founders do millions in sales and build businesses that don't fall apart when the market gets tough. And if you want the systems that we use with our own brands and our clients' brands, you can book a call completely free with our team. We'll help you skip the guesswork and build profitable businesses without wasting months figuring it out all alone. I'll see you soon.